Welcome back everyone to Sully's Rods and Customs. Hope I'm not shouting, got my earplugs in. So we talked before about trying to get this rough weld line here back down flush with the panel. I've stripped the paint off, like the panel's good here, the panel's good here because this is new and this is pretty good anyway. And I've just got a Sharpie, which is just like, right. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my shrinking disc, you can see it, a bit wet from sitting on the floor. This old beast is well used. Use it on lots of cars. Oops, not plugged in. I'm going to plug that in. I use this at full speed when I use them, because what the idea of this is, you're going to generate. You're going to run this disc full speed. You're going to run it across the panel there. I mean, I can see without this hitting it where the high spot is, there's a weld line right through there. And this is really hard to do. If you TIG that, it's a nice soft weld, but I MIG that, so I'm really hoping I can bring it down. But I'll hit it with this and I'll show you what it looks like. The idea is it's a stainless steel disc. I just bought a small one the other day. I bought these from Metal Man Tools. Small ones, good for your little 5-inch or 6-inch grinder. This is one I've used for my 9-inch many times before. You can see how abraded the surface is. So the idea of this is you run it and you run it across the panel here. Like even just me doing that, right, without doing anything, it shows you all those high spots through this. So I'll give it a quick hit. It gets a bit noisy, and I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll show the high spots, and then I'll just concentrate on 1 or 2 high spots here. I have this is an old pest sprayer. I rinsed it out. It's just got fresh water in it now. And I just keep it nearby, so when I run it and I hit the high spot, I spray it with some water, cool it down. And what happens is when you heat metal, it expands, and then when you cool it, it contracts. When it contracts, it'll try and pull the panel back to its original shape. Hopefully it does, but that's a new panel, that's the old one. Let's see what it does. And then I wipe it down with the cloth. You can see now that's the high spot. Like it was actually, when I felt it before, it was really high. That's actually brought down already. But I'll attack that a few times. I'll go one at a time. I'll pull them in as I work my way along until I get to the other side over there, and then I'll be finished. So you can kind of see on here how dark it gets, and you can see here that rub spot there will get bigger and bigger as that shrinks. As it contracts. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about here, but see how that's getting wider there. That's getting a lot flatter through there as well. Out here I can actually feel it's kind of like sharp. It goes this way and then back that way, but here it's really rounding it off. And on here you can see where all that, careful because your disc's hot, all that black texture I've got on there, or Sharpie I've got on there. Hopefully when I'm finished, I can see there's a couple of high spots in other places, but hopefully when I'm finished, it'll just rub that whole lot of Sharpie off right through the middle there. quick once you heat it up, because what's happening here is it's only hitting the high spots. So anything low shouldn't be getting any heat. Still a little bit warm, not hot, but anything low shouldn't be getting any heat. So you can see there how it's really brought that down now, which is good. I'll do that a couple more times there, and I'll get that as flat as I can. You can see there's a bit of a low in the middle here. Hopefully it pulls it out. If it doesn't, I'll dolly them out, and I'll keep going. But I'll show you, if I do a quick run across here, I'll show you how high that is for the middle. So you can pretty much see that's my weld line from when I welded that bottom quarter into the top half of that quarter. So I'll keep going here, and I'll dolly a bit out if I have to, like a couple of those there, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. You can use just a small little spray bottle, like a little squeezy bottle. You can use a wet rag, still some warmth in that panel. But this is really good for pulling tin canning. I don't have it in the car, but if I had some tin canning there, I can heat up around the area where the you know, tin can is when you press the panel and it pops in like you're pushing a can in and out. But yeah, this is getting pretty close here now. So there's a couple of low spots there. I might just dolly them out, and I'll keep going. Alright, hopefully you can see that. You can see these pick marks here where some total butt wipe took to this panel back in the day when the car must have had a crash in this quarter. But here, I don't know if you can see, like right there, you can still see where all the high spots are, all those shiny bits. Maybe this angle is the best bit. And here you can see, I hit it with a DA, and it's very flush there now. But what I'd identified is when I welded these quarter lights back in, that I got a low spot here, so I have to dolly this out and dolly that middle bit out there, get it proud, and then shrink it and pull it back in. So I'll get onto that now. And otherwise, this panel's looking freaking awesome there, other than some, like I said, some total wankers pick marks. I'll show you how deep, like some of those are pretty deep there. Like I can still feel them. I've done a lot of work on this panel, and I can still feel those pick marks there. So anyway, I'll dolly these bits out, and then I'll keep shrinking. I'll do one bit at a time. I'll do this bit first. I can see there's a bit of a dent up here too. I'll dolly this out here too, then I'll shrink that back in, and I'll just keep working away. Actually, I might just work my way across this panel first, finish the panel, and then I'll come back to that bit. Couple of hammers I use. This one is it's got a slight radius in the front, has a flat pick tail on it. The brand of these they're Toledo. They're like about $70 each. Where's the lens? They're about $70 each in I think it was not Sydney Tools. What's the other one? Total Tools. Quite well used. You can see I've beaten the crap out of them. But there's a flat end square on this side and a flat end round on this side. So I'm going to dolly that out from the back this way. So I'm going to use this slight crowned dolly, and I'm going to use this this, what do you call this, die or block to bring it out. like that. Make sure your disc is dry. That's starting to come down now. That little dent is just noticeable there. Oh, I can see that going there. You hear that hiss? That hissing noise, that bump. Maybe I can get one more go on that. It might go a little bit more. All right, that looks pretty good there now. You see how it's starting to, it's not hitting the hump anymore, it's starting to spread out that whole area there. So all that work there made it sort of go in a little bit right there. So I'll work on this bit a bit more, and I'll show you when I'm done. A bit of an update shot. There you can see how good that's looking now. You can see some tiny little marks in there. I'm not too worried about it. You can see these big grinding marks from the previous guy going into that panel. I can't take those out now because I don't know how much metal's left in the panel there, but I don't know if you can see down the side here, but just how smooth that bit is down there. And here you can still see all these high spots and lumps and stuff. So, and when I'm finished with the whole panel, I'll give it a DA, give another lick of primer just to make it last. Then I'll move on to this one. You can see over here, I get in the light, you can see my my weld there as well. We'll do that one too, and we'll get the other side done as well. Get the whole car ready for filler work. Trying to use as minimal as amount as possible, and we'll need to keep hydrated. I'll bait Ned helped me out today. I'll keep doing this panel. I won't show any more this part of it, but I'll show you when I'm finished, but just before I hit it with the DA, and I'll show you when the DA's got it all sanded back and a bit of primer on it, how good it looks. Right, that's all but finished now. I've got a little tiny divot here which I can't get out, not with a shrinking disc, and I can't get behind it, Dolly, because the inner wheel well's in behind it here, and there's a big brace in the back there, so I'm just going to leave that there. Like I can just feel that with my finger. It's probably less than a mil, or maybe a mil. And there's another one there. This big wheel brace comes down like this. I can't get these small ones out, so I'm pretty happy with that. But if you look down the side of that panel now, and you see where that weld line was, somewhere through there, it's pretty much gone. So it doesn't take much effort. It does. It's probably an hour's worth of shrinking. A little bit of dolling behind. Had a few like low spots that came up there, but I'll give it a DA sand now and a prime, and I'll leave that ready, and then I'll start on this one, and then when I finish the car I'll show you what all of it looks like. All right, one of this back's finished. Onto the front part of the quarter here now. You can see where I just ran I'm not going to put the texture on this one. I'll show you what this looks like just by using the guide coat as the telltale. So you can see down here, after like a minute or two, it started like this as a high. Hit it with a shrinking disc. It's now hitting a lot of area instead of just a high spot, and that's pretty good for you there. This here, I can definitely feel that it's high. I don't know if you can see it at all. Looks like a a low in there and a high right across. Looks like a bit of a low there too. A high, sort of a wiggly line all the way across there as I ground it. Pretty crappy grind, but I will progress through and keep shrinking this one. You see a little puff of steam come up every now and then, which is me taking the heat out of it. Like that's pretty good through there now. Sort of move this right across to here. Try and avoid using the tip. You can see here, I'm not sure if you can see here, can you? How the disc has, it's hot as shit. The disc has like fairly consistent wear right across the face. I did grind that down a little bit because it was protruding a fair way, and it did scratch that back panel, so you can see I ground it back below flush, so be careful of that. The more contact face of the disc that you have, the hotter the high gets and the quicker it disappears. A bit of a low in there. I might have to try and get inside. How far is the wheel arch ends there? I might be able to get inside that and dolly that out. I'll see how I go. Just keep going. That low there is why this is not shrinking back down. I need to knock that back out. Hopefully I can get inside that quarter and knock that out. But you can see at the bottom here where it's flush. I'll see if I can get behind that panel and knock that low out. As you can see there, I knocked most of that low out. You can still see it's a little bit low right in the middle there. I'll knock that bit out there now, and then I'll that bit over there is looking pretty good. A couple of minor lows. I'll just work my way across because I can see another low there, another low there, another big one in there. So I'll work my way through them. Bit of shrinking, bit of dollying from the back, and we'll get them all fixed. You can see that's looking pretty good at the moment. What I'm working on now is, see that little dark line right through the middle there? It's got had a dent in this car, like a side swipe. I can't get behind that high part there, right in the corner there. Might have to stay that little ding there, but unless I can get a spoon in behind it. One of my spoon dollies. This bit here I'm going to try and dolly it out from the back now, and then shrink it back to size. I give it a bit of a hit there, and the shrinker pulled the middle of that out a fair bit by hitting both sides. You can see how it's still with that bit of primer right in the middle there. I'll give it a go, we'll dolly it out, and then we'll make it work. Alright, there we go. That's it, complete. There is a small dent there that I can't get, and there is one right there that I can't get. It's behind some big pillar and structure there, but tiny little bit of filler there and there is nothing compared to what it would have been before, when it was a whole rusty wreck. So that's you can see over there, you still see those tiny little bits of blue there. That's all that's left. That's that Sharpie comes with. That's all that's left of those dents and dips and stuff before. That panel was in really bad shape, other than that brand new bottom I put on there, but everything's out of it now except those tiny little dips there. So once I strip the whole car back again, get it in epoxy, we'll be ready for paint. I'm probably going to try and do all the body work on this side of the car, like all the lower half of the car, like all that back quarter, everything that's rigid below that body line there, and then do the sill, same on the other side, do the rear beaver panel around there, get it all ready. Then I'm going to get that diff into the car. I've got some new fuel line here, so we've got some new brake line and fittings coming. So I'll do the shrinking disc on the other side, finish that off, and I will get the car ready for epoxy priming. Primer's still a bit wet here. I should have waited till it dried before I sprayed the guide coat on it. And again, that's just how it looks good. It doesn't need the guide coat yet because I got to sand all that grey off. And I've got to epoxy the whole outside of the car yet, so a fair bit of work to do on that yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there.